Yo, I get why these teachers are going on strike, because if I had to deal with this all day, this type of crap that I'm hearing about, yo, for real, y'all legit are strong, because I could never do it. Welcome back, YouTube. It's your host, Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about a teacher in Oregon pretty much speaking up about what's going on in the school system over there. And she's resigning because she said, hey, look, I can't do anymore. So let's jump right in.
Teachers and school staff are being physically and verbally assaulted every single day. Because of these conditions, I will not be returning to my position with the Dallas School District. I am officially resigning because I will no longer put myself in a position to be physically and verbally assaulted by students.
Boy, a dramatic moment there. New this morning, a sharp rise in discipline cases at an Oregon elementary school really has people sounding the alarm. Some teachers say, you just heard there, they're being physically and verbally assaulted by students every day.
Fox Bonnie Silkman joins us now in studio with a closer look at what's happening. Good morning.
Good morning. That's right. The principal of Lyle Elementary School in Dallas, Oregon, sent out a letter to parents saying student discipline incidents are significantly higher this year when compared to the year before. Meanwhile, as you heard, a teacher there just resigned last night at a school board meeting, saying she could no longer put herself in a position to be physically and verbally assaulted by students.
So before they get too far, yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of this, not just here, but like in various other states and cities where the teachers are pretty much saying, hey, look, it is not working. It is not worth it. It is not worth my health, physically and mentally, to be dealing with these kids and one, get paid the way they get paid, and then two, struggle to really get the lesson plan down pat. Because I actually just did a video talking about how this woman in high school, she was basically saying how the students that she teaches, they can't read. This is a high school, mind you, teenagers, and they struggle to read. And it all starts at home, honestly, because all this behavior, it has to start somewhere. It's not that you have a model like child at home and then they get to school and all of a sudden they start acting out. Like, there's something that's missing in the middle here, because how is this going on? I have a few friends that work in the education system as well, and they say the same thing. Not the physical or verbal assault, nothing like that. But when it comes to like the learning skills of these students nowadays, they're severely lacking. And that's the sad part, because those poor teachers, right? They get paid what they get paid, and it's not a lot, in certain states. They have to deal with trying to figure out how they're going to teach your little dumbass kid because they can't read and or count. And then not only that, they have to deal with being verbally and physically assaulted, along with the school and the state in some cases not backing them up and helping them. So they feel like they have no one to help them out and to support them. And that's why a lot of people are leaving.
Now, a principal sent out a letter recently to parents, and in that letter it states that the 2024-2025 school year, the district had to discipline a student 144 times. Now, in the 2025-2026 school year, that number jumped up to 428. That's an increase of 284 incidents, nearly a 200% rise compared to the same time last year. In other words, the district is having to discipline students nearly 3 times as often. And he says at first glance, these numbers can feel alarming, but if you look closer at the data, a more accurate picture emerges. Now, the letter states that most Lyle students follow the rules, with about 85% having no or only one case where they had to be disciplined. That's the green area you see right there. About 9% have 2 to 5 cases, and about 7% of students have 5 or more cases. According to the principal, that relatively small percentage of students you see in red are the reason this increase is so dramatic.
So I spoke about this before when I said that percentages, right, will make certain things look a certain way. Because when you look at the previous number, right, 144 in comparison to 428, you really get to see, okay, damn, that's a lot of incidences. And not only that, remember, this is elementary school. Elementary school students. So it gets worse from here. You have to remember that it gets worse. As they get older, they start having their own mind, and then they have years and years of not being checked. They start, having a little bit more leeway. Percentages can make things seem, small or big, depending on how and which way they skew. Because when you look at it like this, right, 9% 2 to 5 cases, and 7% 5 or more cases. Seems very small in comparison to the huge 85% that they have there. Because it's true, that is small in comparison to the 85%. But if we go back, it's up 200%. That's high. The same time what it was last year, it is almost what, 2 times that now. It is 2 times that. Things are getting worse, and the question is why. My theory is that parents nowadays just don't care. Now, I know that's anecdotal, but I mean, in this case right here, 200% increase. You have more and more students and even parents jumping up saying, hey, look, my child can't read. They can't do math, X, Y, and Z. And these aren't like small children. These are, in this case, this is small children. But in the cases of the ones I'm talking about where people are jumping online saying their experiences, those aren't small children. Those are middle school to high school students. And they're struggling. They're having issues. You know, I remember growing up, I used to like see those parents that really just didn't give a damn about their kids where for some reason your child every day for the past 2 weeks is coming home telling you that they have no homework and you're not raising any questions. You don't go to parent teacher meetings. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that are going on or not going on to where the parents are keeping their children accountable and they're just kind of like letting them go do whatever they want to do, like latchkey kids. You know what I'm saying? It's having a direct effect on the school system and then the teachers, because now you have teachers leaving going, you know what? I don't gotta deal with this. This is bullshit. And it's a true thing because they don't feel like they're getting support as well. They're not getting support from the parents. They're not getting support from the school system.
Now, the principal also notes that Oregon law strictly limits suspensions for grades K through 8, allowing them only if a student causes serious physical harm or poses a direct safety threat. The letter explains that some behaviors may seem serious but are not legally grounds for suspension, including minor hitting or kicking, pushing or throwing objects, and name calling. Now, you're about to hear from that teacher once again, the one who resigned at the school board meeting last night, who said classrooms are chaotic, assaults on staff are increasing, happening every day, and reporting misbehavior is exhausting, time-consuming, and often ignored.
So I get why when it comes to, you know, minor infractions like that is not taken seriously, or there's not much being done, because when you look at the law, by law in this country, children are one of the most protected like groups of people. Like legitimately, not a lot can be done when it comes to like what happens to children in the sense of how to discipline them when wrong is being done. Be that as it may, right? We can see that there is a reaction to that. When you get into the outside world, when you become an adult and you lose that child status, there's no longer minor hitting and anything like that. It's just legit. You put hands on someone, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That can be charged as battery, assault, whatever have you. So they're being brought up with rules that I understand are used to protect them, but in a sense is being abused because now these children are in situations where they understand and they know to a certain extent, hey, yo, I could do X, Y, and Z and you can't do anything against me. I could do whatever I want to do. And the most you can do is what? In school suspension, if that. It's just out of control.
Classrooms have become unsafe for both staff and students. Students are tearing posters and work off classroom walls. They are throwing chairs, pencils, books, anything they can get their hands on. Classrooms are being destroyed.
And that was Jennifer Wessendorf, who says she's worked for the school for 9 years. Now, we did reach out to the school for comment on the teacher's resignation, but we have not yet heard back. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on this developing story.
Nothing's going to change because the main thing, the main moving driver in this, right, is what goes on at home. What's going on in the classroom is almost a direct reflection of what's going on at home. You know what I'm saying? These parents are not caring for their children in the sense of how they're making sure that they're becoming well-rounded individuals. Because like I said before, this is the elementary school. It only gets worse from here. Because if these behaviors aren't corrected or at least shifted in another direction, we see the videos, big ass kids throwing hands with the teacher and everything like that, doing a whole lot of nonsense. Keeping it a buck, some parents just shouldn't be parents. Some people should not have children because they just don't care. They just send their children out into the wild, out into the world, and just say, go figure it out. And when it comes to disciplining them, I mean, you're not doing nothing for your kid. Now you guys set them out to the rest of the world. Now we gotta deal with them. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Well, you guys already know the drill. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think can be done in this situation? Because I already said that there's nothing that can be truly done when it comes to fixing what happens in the classroom, because it doesn't start in the classroom, it starts at home. So if you have any ideas, if you have any thoughts, let me know down in the comments down below. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.